Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about Jpa Buddy because it is awesome. It's awesome for creating DTOs from your entities. It's awesome if you want to have a liquid base. If you're using liquid base, it's awesome to create your mapping. So how do you use it? How to install it? Is it very expensive? There is actually both a free version and a paid version, and you pay through IntelliJ. It's an IntelliJ plugin. So if you go and search for Jpa Buddy, if you're doing queries, then I would definitely recommend you to look into this Jpa Buddy. Yeah, look into it no matter what. It's awesome for setting up relations and for converting entities into DTOs, for creating queries with Spring data. This is really, really cool, and you do not have to pay for it if you don't want to pay for the business features. Then you can just use the free version if you want to. Of course, if you pay for if you want to convert your entities to DTOs, I think that feature will actually stop being supported in the free version in the end of 2022. That's what I read. Yeah. But there are still a lot of cool features in it. So yeah, and also I think actually it's worth its money. I think it's like $50 if you're a business per user per year or something like that. And the time that you save, it's fast actually to get the value for money there. I would definitely say that. And they have a lot of cool videos and they have a small dog also. That is, of course, also counts as a positive thing. I'm not paid or sponsored by Jpa Buddy at all. I just really like Jpa Buddy, and personally, I'm using the free version, which is enough for my use case right here. So I have the Spring Boot mapping project, and I've installed the plugin by going to settings, and then I went to IntelliJ. If you want to pay for it, then you actually have to pay for it through IntelliJ. They have a marketplace, they have a payment, they have a way to actually pay for plugins on the marketplace also. And then just search for Jpa Buddy like this, and you can see I have just installed this because I did not want to waste your time with that. And then you have to restart your IDE afterwards, integrated development environment. This means IntelliJ. And then you're actually ready to go. So I have already created some entities right here. We have a spaceship entity, and yes, I should actually name it entity so we can actually see that this is an entity. Yes. Rename all of it. So now it's actually clear that this is an entity. Look what we got right here. We got something called Jpa Palette. Okay. So we can get a lot of help right here. We can actually create the name queries, and we can also say that we want to create indexes. So we can also have something. We can create equals and hash codes. So we get a lot of help here already. But where we get the most help is if we go to the repository. So if I go to my repository right here, and I want to create some queries on my spaceship. My spaceship has a why doesn't it know that? Spaceship entity. Okay, so let me just delete. I don't know why this method actually just suddenly popped up. This is just because I made a refactoring. This is IntelliJ that doesn't know what it's doing right now. That's okay. Let's try to ignore that. This is a repository where I actually wanted to demonstrate that it's possible to use both or to return. All. Okay, here was the problem. Let me just delete that. So yeah. So I want to show that we can actually return the DTO automatically inside the query. That is what the purpose of this repository right here was. Let's say I want to create some more complex queries. How should I do that? It can be quite difficult, and that is where the Jpa Palette comes in. You can see in the top right corner, I have something called Jpa Palette. Then I can see which. If you don't know Spring Data, then watch my videos or go look at the tutorial and the documentation on Spring's webpage. but you can actually use methods. You do not need to write these queries that I write right here. This is JPA queries. You can actually just write methods, and the naming of those methods is a little bit special. So if you don't want to read the documentation every time you have to create these methods, then you can actually use this JPA palette by choosing method right here. And then you can say that we want to find a collection, or do we want to find one instance of the spaceship. In this situation right here, I want to find I want to find a collection. So then I just drag, I hold the mouse, and then I drag this find collection. And then we can see the wrap type is list. It could also be a set or something else, iterable, a stream, a slice, or something else if you want to. In my situation, I just want a list to be returned, so that's quite good. The entity that we are dealing with is the spaceship entity right here, that is this. And now comes the query conditions. And here I can just add my conditions. I have something called fuel, that is the fuel percentage. And I want the fuel percentage that is, I want all of the spaceships with low fuel percentage left. So I want then less than, and then some value. So we can just say, if I don't type in a fixed value right here, then it's actually a variable. So this means that now I will actually create a method that actually takes an argument. It takes a variable right here, and there's also some advanced stuff we can choose right here. We can actually say that we want it pageable. Then we can ask for page 3 if there are, and we can also say that we only want 10 spaceships per page, and then we can say that we want page 3. We can also say that it's sortable. We want it to be sorted by something. Those things are decided in the advanced part right here. Let us keep it simple for the first one that we're creating right here. So I want to create I want to have a query that actually says that we need to find by fuel less than, and then it actually takes an argument, which is the fuel percentage, that is the limit right here. So that is actually quite cool. Let us use it actually. So let us go to the test. I have a spaceship repository test. So I will go to my tests right here. I forgot the shortcut keys to how to jump to the corresponding tests. I forgot about the shortcut key, so I'll go find it and set like this. I could also press Ctrl N, and then I could have just found the tests. Yeah, it is right there. So here, this is a test that I've already written, but now I want to create a new test right here. This is my add Spring Boot test right here, and I have added web environment, and I would definitely also recommend you always to do that. To set the web environment to a random port, you can also set it in your properties file, but you can also set it on your test itself. This means that if your Spring application is running, then you will not get an error. This port has already been taken, exception, and then you have to stop your application, and then you have to run the test afterwards. I just like it. It's a really cool feature, this one right here. But let us create a test. That was what we wanted to do. So I'll go write a test right here. Void. Give me some ships. Ships less than. So this is where we want to test that we actually get some spaceships with a fuel percentage less than something. And here we can say find by fuel less than. And I'll just write 50 right now because I don't remember I'm creating some data per default whenever I start up. This is my on post construct annotation of the method right here. This means that I will actually create these 2 spaceships whenever I start up my application. Let us create some more spaceships right here. We can also write save all. It's actually a bit nicer. Let us do that, save all right here. And then we can say list.off like this. And then we create this list right here. Just to change something. Yes, I'll enter. This is a list from Java util. Yes, that is correct. List off. Why can it not do that? So then we have all of the elements. What is this one element? Oh, that was that was a bracket too much. And then we need another bracket down here. The off is still complaining a bit. Let us just see what it's complaining about. I think it complains about what is it complaining about right here? Set language level to 9. No. We should not do that. Let us not just use the list off right now. I'll just save it one by one. That's okay for now. I'll figure that one out afterwards, what I was complaining about. No reason to wait for that. So then we have this. Maybe it was something with the generics. There was no generic type. Yeah, it could have been that actually. So then we have fuel percentage 25 right here, and the captain right here is Lena. And she is flying a... Maybe she's flying a round spaceship. That could be... yeah, it's a black one. Black round spaceship, and that has 25%. Then I could write another one right here. I could create another spaceship right here, which is flown by a guy named Henrik, maybe. And there could be like 17% left. And this spaceship would be a bit... it is just... it's a cool spaceship. So it's a cool spaceship. And the color is green. It's a cool green spaceship right here. So now I've created 2 more spaceships, and I expect to get those 2 out because they have a fuel percentage less than 50. Those up here have a fuel percentage of 99 and 59. So that is, let us see if it actually works. So, and here is the results. Yes, give me my spaceships, and then I assertions. It's not a test without an assertion, of course. So we assert equals. We assert that we get 2 spaceships out. So we will have something like this size, and of course we will also like to print them out also. So for each, and then we will write system out and print line. This is a method reference when you're dealing with this actually when you're dealing with lambdas and when you're dealing with lists. Then you could do something like this. Let us run the test and see what actually happens. So something just happened, and this is an IntelliJ error. So let us just say, isn't there something repair ID or something like right here? Let us see if it works now. We'll say Maven, and also say clean right here. And let us try to run our test once again. See what happens. Cannot find the builder. This is IntelliJ that does not know how to use Lombok right now. It is a little bit annoying. So we say clean, we say compile. We can also say rebuild, and we can try to say, yeah, this, yes, but there is a builder. It is just that it needs to be, this is the Lombok, the pre-compiled, so pre-compile something. We need to go down to the compiler and set that. What we have, I have set that setting there. What's the name right here? This is IntelliJ that it's a little bit annoying right here. We can actually also run the test directly. I'll just use Maven instead to run the tests. I think that will. There are still errors right here. Cannot find a simple spaceship.builder. It should be able to find it because the class is right here. It's public class, and we have annotated with Lombok builder right there. So that was a little bit annoying. Boom, boom, boom. What to do? Pre-compile headers or something like that. Pre-compile. Something with annotation. Annotation. Annotation processor, that was. It is already enabled, so annotation processing, that was the one. Okay. Actually, I added something to my pump file right here. I added some map struct. Let me just remove my map struct. The reason why I added this map struct was because I want to show that it can actually create the Jpa Buddy can actually show a here we have the compiler. I think it's probably these lines right here. Let us try again now. So we will say refresh, clean, repair IDE, and go to our tests. Go to the test right here. Run the test. Let us just see what happens now. It looks a bit better. So now, so now we have here we get the ships. Less than we get 2 ships out, and it works. The JPA query works that we just created with Jpa Buddy. That is quite awesome, I think, that we could just have Jpa Buddy to help us actually create our queries. And of course, there's a lot of other things that the Jpa Buddy can do. Another thing is that we can we should also be able to right-click and then say convert to. There's something called JPA structure. Let me just find that one. Tools and view tool menu right here, and then there's something JPA structure right here. Yeah, and the JPA structure is also quite cool because it can actually show you it can actually show the relations between your entities. If I would have some relations right here, then we could actually see those. We can see which repositories are actually attached to this entity, or which repositories are using this entity right here. That is quite awesome. Let us try to right click, then I can say new. I should also, new DTO right here, new DTO. And I can create a new DTO. I can say which field I want. Maybe I don't want ID, just want the caption and the description in my DTO. I can say that I want to use a Java record. This is actually quite normal nowadays that you use a Java record as your DTO, because it's just because it's there, and it's very it's quite cool. It's very easy to So now I've actually created this DTO right here. And if I had I did not get a mapper class. If I had enabled map structs in my dependencies in my maven pub file, then I would also get a map struct mapper interface, and that is so awesome, I think. But I cannot show that right now because apparently there's some problems when I enable my map struct. Then the Lombok part does not work right now. But I get my DTO right here. This is a record, and it has those 2 fields that I actually chose. A description and also the captain, which is right here. I think this is awesome. It's an awesome tool, and it just gives a good overview. You can also create a database connection to your H2 database, and then you can have it create Liquidbase and Flyway definitions. If you use Flyway or Liquidbase, then you know that it can be quite a hassle to actually create those YAML files or XML files that will describe the differences between a database and the XML definition. And this is exactly where you can get the help, get some good help from Jpa Buddy. And this is also where they want some money, because if you want to get the difference between the database and the configuration files, whether it's XML, text, or JSON or YAML, you can choose yourself which format you want. Then if you want that difference out automatically, then they of course then they want you to pay for the business suite, or for the business version, which is $50, $49 per year per person. Actually, this is what I wanted to show you. I was just so happy with Jpa Buddy, and of course there's a lot of features that I haven't told you about that it actually has. You can see right here it has map struct support, a model mapper support. It uses records if you want to use record. You just saw that actually. Here we have the Flyway stuff. It is an awesome plugin, and I will definitely use this a lot. I think so, at least. I must say I've just started using it now. Actually, I just found it here today. So, but I just thought it was quite cool. And it looks very useful, at least, especially if you have a lot of JPAs with a lot of weird relations. If you have a lot of many-to-many relations, for instance, or if you just have a lot of relations and you want to get an overview of your entities, then that JPA structure view just is very handy. Also, if you want to create a lot of queries, whenever you want to create a query, it's just very handy that you can just drag your query to repository, and then you can just select what kind of where condition you want, and then you would either get a method name that would match your needs, or you would get a query annotation with whatever you want to do. So let us actually just create also one with query. So this is the method. If you want to use the Spring Data with a method, let us actually try with the Jpa per letter. Now I'm going to choose query this time, and then I'm going to say find collection. Actually, just count all of them. So method name. This is how many in total. So like this, and of course again I could add some queries where captain or something, or where the description contains where it contains, for instance, yellow or something like that. Then I can count on that. Oh, that was actually one thing right there. Look at this. This is quite ugly. We get these question mark 1. Of course, we want named parameters instead. So let's just say, we'll just say count again. Name parameters. Yes, of course we need that. And remember the difference between an argument and the parameter. The parameter is the definition. The argument is actually the value itself that you actually place there. Just a little bonus information. Argument versus parameter. Try to use it correct. Total blah blah. Something right here, and then we will say description contains something, and then we'll press OK right here. And let us see now we have name parameters. This means that we use colon description instead, the query is up right here. Select count S from spaceship entity, where is the description, and then whatever description we give as an argument to our method right here. But Mike, you have not tested that it works. Okay, let me do that. So I'll just press Ctrl N, and then I'll say spaceship test. There it was. Let me just duplicate one of the existing tests, and I'm going to say count test. And right here we will just say repository dot total blah blah, and then we will say yellow. And here we would actually expect that just to be 1. So we will just say insert equals 1 and yellow like this. And let us now see that our code actually works and our test also works. So it's green. That means that we get 1. We get the result 1 from this count right here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I hope you didn't mind that I was transparent, because I was too lazy to go change my shirt to something that is a bit more different than the green color I have in the background. Thank you very much. Feel free to comment as usual. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.